up, everybody? Welcome back to Fishing for Bass TV. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Fishing for Bass TV. Today's video is going to be a good one. It's going to be our top 5 May baits. May is an interesting month to be a bass fisherman. It's one of my favorites. And the reason for that is, guys, is the bass are in all phases of the spawn. They're pre-spawn, they're actively spawning, and they're post-spawn. So there's a variety of baits that you could use to catch fish in the month of May. And to start things off, my number 1 bait for May, can you guess? A crankbait. And a shallow diving crankbait. The shad spawn is the deal early in the morning and in the evenings, low light conditions. So a square bill up shallow is phenomenal. So my number 1 and 2, I'll say my first one's going to be the KVD 1.5 and the gizzard shad color. Hey, this KVD 1.5 is tried and true, and you can see that this bait is chewed up. I've caught a ton of fish on this bait. It is chewed up. So gizzard shad 1.5 KVD. Good one. And this one, by the way, is silent. This is a silent. But I do like the hard knockers also. Another bait that I'll throw this time of year in May, same shallow diving crankbait, but color is a bluegill color. This is the translucent one, bluegill, from Strike Kings to 1.5. This one's a hard knocker though. So I'll rotate between the hard knocker and the silent ones to see what they want that day. Some days they want the rattle, and some days they want that silent bait. But and I also have some gizzard shad hard knockers as well, so I'll go to those as well. And then, you know, if they're not biting the 1.5, I'll drop down to the KVD 1.0 gizzard shad as well. And this one's silent as well. KVD 1.0 gizzard shad. Another 1.5 style bait is the 6 Sense Crush 50X. Another 1.5 style bait is the 6 Sense Crush 50X. And where is it at? Like I said, I'm going to stick to shad patterns and bluegill patterns. You know what time it is. Bluegills, so the bass will attack those bluegills. And this one's got a little rattle to it. Ooh, I almost hooked myself. This one's got a little rattle. This is the 6 Sense Crush 50X. Love this bait. Bluegill pattern here. And then also, you know, I've got different colors of the Crush 50X. And then also I'll drop down if they're not wanting that bigger profile. I will use the 6 Sense 25 MD right there. And this one is a silent bait. This color right here. And that's a shad pattern. I love that bait. And I forgot to mention also in the Strike King, if I need to go even shallower, I'll go to the actual shallow runner, the 1 to 3 foot in this sexy shad. So I was just throwing this the other day. See all that dirt in it? It was hitting bottom. But we'll throw that one as well. So my number 1 bait this time of year for the month of May is going to be a shallow running crankbait. And Strike King 1.5s and the 6 Sense Crush 50Xs. So my second bait for May, for the month of May, is a spinnerbait, guys. And I know if any of you guys have been seeing the channel lately, I have caught some big uns on this bait right here. I've caught 2 7-pounders, a 612, and this past week on this white spinnerbait right here. Let me get this off. I'll retie it on later. All right, guys. So my number 2 bait for the month of May, spinnerbait, and not just any spinnerbait, a white spinnerbait. Why a white spinnerbait? It's what we talked about earlier, that shad spawn. Bass are feeding up on shad early in the mornings and later in the evenings in those low light conditions, and you can't get much better than a white spinnerbait. And if you've been watching the channel this last week, you saw the 2 7-pounders that I've caught. I've caught a 612, caught some big fish on this spinnerbait right here. And this exact one as well. This is the one I was catching them on. And this is a Strike King tournament grade. I think this is the finesse one. I think this is the finesse jig, I believe. And if I'm wrong, it is a Strike King. It's in the white package. It's got the red lettering. I can't remember 100%, but it is a Strike King white spinnerbait. So number 2, hey, is that spinnerbait. I'm going to be targeting that shad spawn early in the morning, later in the evenings. Windy days, I'll be throwing this as well. I'll be throwing it up on laydowns, right on the edge of any kind of cover, over the top of brush piles. I'll throw it over stumps, and this is just a great bait in the month of May, spinnerbait. My number 3 bait for May is a chatterbait. A chatterbait is a phenomenal bait. I love throwing this bait, and a couple different options that I like to use as far as chatterbaits go. One, the jackhammer, right? The jackhammer, everybody knows what a jackhammer is. It's the expensive one. It's like $15 to $18. But you know, the difference between a jackhammer and the Z-Man, the original chatterbait, the one that's $5, which is this one right here, is a couple different things. Obviously, the hardware is a little bit different. It's a little bit better on the jackhammer, but as soon as you engage your reel with a jackhammer, this starts chattering. You'll feel the thump. Takes a second or two on the original chatterbait, right? So to me, that's the main difference. That is the main difference. I throw both of them though. I have numerous chatterbaits, and I have jackhammers, and I have the original chatterbait. So white gonna be the color for me in May. You know, during those early mornings, late evenings, during that shad spawn, like we've been talking about, I'm going to throw this up shallow, around cover, and I'll tell you that the trailers that I like to use on these chatterbaits. This is the Gary Yamamoto Zacco, I think it's called Zacco. Obviously white to match the white chatterbait, and then I'll throw some of the 6 Sense Divine paddle tails on there, little swim baits. And this, I think this is the something delight color as far as the chatterbait jackhammer. I forget exactly what the name is, but I'll either throw a swim bait on there or the Gary Yamamoto Zacco. So for number 3, chatterbait. All right, guys, we're up to number 4 now. Number 4 bait for the month of May is, drum roll please, is going to be a lipless crankbait. Lipless crankbait, and I'm going to keep it at that shad pattern, right? Shad spawn, shad pattern. And then if I got really dirty water and I want to continue to throw, I'll grab something like this. This is called the something special, and this is a 6 Sense lipless right here. I think this is the Quake 70, I believe. And this right here, I think this is a brown special. And but this bait has caught me so many fish, guys. But I'm going to really focus on this lipless shad pattern. So I'm ripping this through grass. When you're retrieving these lipless, hey, don't just wind it back. Don't just wind it straight back. Yo-yo, hey, lift it up, let it drop. Reel in your slack. Lift it up, let it drop, reel in your slack. You'll get way more bites doing that. But number 4 is a lipless crankbait. Great bait for the month of May. All right, guys, my 5th and final bait for the month of May. Something that I'm sure all of you have thrown. It's in your tackle box. It's in your boat. It's one of my personal favorites, and I get away from it at times, and I don't know why. And I got back to it this past week and caught that 711. So a 7-pound, 11 ounce on this bait. So without further ado, number 5 for the month of May, the Senko. You know, the Senko catches fish. This is the Yamamoto Senko, that green pumpkin with that chartreuse tail. This is the original Senko. And, you know, guys, I've used a lot of Senkos. I've used the Dingers, the Yamamotos, the 6 Sense Clout, you know, the Ocho from Strike King. And there's just something about the Yamamoto Senko that is it's just better. It's just better. My number 1 pick for a Senko is going to be Gary Yamamoto. And not only just this color, but other colors. And the shimmy, the fall, right? When you're fishing at wacky, you can fish at wacky, or like this, you can fish at wacky, or you can fish at Texas rigged with a tungsten. But some of the baits, fishing some of these Senkos wacky with a wacky rig, there's just not enough salt, so it doesn't fall, so it basically floats. Yum dingers have an issue with that. Obviously, if you have a weighted wacky hook, that helps, but then it messes up the action. I'm very particular on the action of the wacky rig. and of my Senkos. And man, this bait right here has caught me so many fish. You know, I'll fish this bait behind other Senkos, and the Yamamoto Senko just catches them. And so that's one of them. The other type of Senko that I like to use is the 6 cents Clout. I love this bait. This bait is my close second favorite. You know, I pick up this bait a lot. This is the black and blue, I believe. Yeah, this is the black and blue. And they've got those ridges, those unique ridges on here that the Clout has. I love this bait as well. Hey, it's a good solid bait, good smell. It's got salt. And so Yamamoto Senko, 6 cents Clout. And also, here's another 6 cents Clout. This is the Junebug, or Junebug red color Clout. This bait's really cool. I love this bait. I'll use this one and the green pumpkin. You know, they have a lot of different colors. I use them all. I've got a bunch of these. So they say, you know, a wacky rig is you know, during the spawning phases, that a wacky rig Senko is one of the best baits you can possibly throw, and I have to agree with that. You know, not just wacky rig, but, you know, even Texas rig, just a Senko period, man. It gets bites during this time of year. So do not forget about your Senkos, guys. All right? And, you know, I've got so many other baits that I love for the month of May, and I do have to throw a couple more in here, and starting with a frog, right? Topwater frog. So I use some of the Spro frogs, the bronze eye frogs. Also, one of my good favorites is the poppin' perch, Strike King poppin' perch. I love this bait, little poppin' frog. You know, and I'll throw this in the shaded areas and around docks and around laydowns, things like that. And during the month of May, man, they will clobber a frog. So frog is on the honorable mention list. Also on that list, and you know, I would be a fool if I left this one out, because of all the fish that I do catch, you see it on the channel, is a drop shot, guys. And again, people think drop shot is just a vertical bait, you know, vertical fishing bait out offshore, like that. It's not. You know, you can fish this bait anywhere. You can fish this bait up shallow. You can fish it throwing it into brush. You can throw it anywhere. And I'll tell you, man, I catch fish from, you know, 0 to 1 foot all the way out to 35 to 40 feet. So, this is my favorite drop shot bait. This is the KVD Dream Shot. And I don't have any of my favorite color right now. I ran out. It's time to restock. But that is the brown purple. I'll pop one of these out and show you real quick. But this bait, and you see how the difference between the Juggle Minnow, where's that at? That's why I'm going to have to up my hook size for these Juggle Minnows. But look at the size difference here. And the plastic. It's just completely different here. This one's way bigger than this one. And the Dream Shot's just a tad bit longer. I mean a tad. But this bait right here has caught me more fish. Oh man, more fish than any other drop shot bait. The brown purple, and then this one is called the Chartreuse Blue Glimmer. This one gets me bites as well. I'll rotate through this color, or with this color, on those murkier days, cloudier days. Water's a little bit dingier. This purple and this chartreuse looking color here. But my favorite color is the Candy Crawl. And but the hooks I use for my drop shots again are the Cover Shot 1/0 hooks by Owner. That's my favorite drop shot bait hook. And then I use lead weights. I do have tungstens as well. I'll use the Woo tungsten weights as well. So these are the Woo tungsten drop shot cylinder weights. Whoops. I'll use those. And then I will use the Eagle Claw 3/8 ounce lead weights as well. So, alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. This is my top 5 baits with a couple extras, extra nuggets for you for the month of May. Get out there, use them. Come back to the channel and tell me how you did, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like and subscribe button, guys. I salute to every single one of you. But until next time, guys, I'm out.